So, new plan. White needs to build a fortress for the king, so that it can't be pushed from its central location. Pawn to f4. This prevents black from claiming space with g5. I'm not sure this is the right order in which to do it. Maybe d4 would have been better. As it stands now, black could play e5, and then white is faced with the unenviable choice of either exchanging pawns, which suddenly creates a passed pawn on the g file for black, or pushing the pawn on to f5 and just hoping that that it's not pushed too far, that we can actually protect it and that it won't turn into a liability. Luckily, it seems my opponent didn't think he needed to play very precisely in order to convert his material advantage into a win. So check. Pawn to d4. King h7. I have no idea why he takes such a strange roundabout way to centralize the king. The rook goes to c3 in order to prepare the pawn push b4. Can't play b4 immediately because that would leave the a3 pawn hanging. But with the rook on c3, it will be protected once the b pawn has advanced. g6, b4, king g7, e3, king f6. Now this is the fortress that I was talking about. I don't believe black has any advantage at all here, despite being a theoretical point up in material. Now it would take at least 6 moves for him to reroute this dark square bishop down here and start attacking these queenside pawns. And as soon as he leaves this area, then there is nothing preventing the white rook from going in and attacking these pawns and harassing the king. Now, white could just choose to mark time here with moves like rook b3, rook c3, rook d3, or offer a draw, but I actually thought there was no risk in pushing on for a bit longer before before deciding if a draw was absolutely necessary. So king f3. This is a strategical retreat. I'm vacating the e4 square for the pawn. Rook drops back to a8. e4. The threat is, well, e5 check, claiming back the bishop. So the king drops back. King g4. Rook h8. Now this is an interesting position to me, and I bet there are several ways of playing it. I'd also be willing to bet that my way is a pretty bad one, all things considered. Now, I did formulate a plan here that I did follow consistently to the end, and it played out pretty much the way I intended, but I can't help but feel that the very starting move of my plan is so ugly and structurally compromising that it just can't be any really good. It's pawn to e5. The reason I think it's so ugly is because that now, instead of 3 mobile pawns standing abreast, I have 3 pawns that can't move at all. But the idea here is that black now has to choose between 2 pretty unfavorable lines. Now the bishop either has to leave this b8 to h2 diagonal and move here or here, which would allow the rook to penetrate to the 7th rank, or he needs to drop the bishop all the way back to b8, which means that the queenside pawns can start marching on again. Rook to b8 and b5. Rook to a8, changing his mind. Now, it's often a really bad idea to change your mind in an endgame. If you wanted to play the rook to a8, you should have just done it straight away. Now you've spent 2 moves doing it instead of 1. Rook takes, and rook takes pawn. b6.